By Commander Talrix of the Varn Dominion, Exobiological Warfare Division, classified, eyes only, Level O clearance, begin transmission. This is Commander Talrix, formerly of the Varn Dominion's 7th Exobiological Warfare Division, now considered. Maye by Central Command. This document, Log 47, is both a warning and a confession. I do not expect redemption. I only hope someone listens. We thought they were primitive. Our assumptions were logical. By Dominion metrics, Earth's dominant species was fractured, emotionally erratic, and technologically behind. They had only one inhabited planet, minimal, orbital assets, and no confirmed FTL capability. We labeled them pre-galactic, scheduled them for observation, and predicted subjugation by fiscal cycle's end. We were catastrophically wrong. First contact. The mistake, it began with what was supposed to be a silent reconnaissance. Our flagship, Valor Unbound, entered Earth's orbit using phased cloaking arrays. We deployed signal scramblers and inserted 3 drones into their orbital net. Standard Dominion playbook. The humans detected us in 13 minutes, not through sensors, not through force, but through curiosity. We later learned a coalition of their amateur astronomers noticed minor distortions, tiny irregularities in satellite telemetry and reflected sunlight. They coordinated via public forums. Within minutes, a group of them triangulated our position and aimed an array of commercial lasers, repurposed from a university telescope, at our cloak's edge. The message, encoded in ancient Morse, code pulsed across the void, bounced off their moon like a mirror. "We see you!" That was the first warning. 2. Containment protocols fail command brushed it off. Anomalous. Coincidental. They laughed. I didn't. I reviewed their culture files again. Primitive, yes, but dense, violent, obsessed with war fiction. Thousands of hours of recorded entertainment, films, books, games about alien invasions, resistance fantasies, counterattacks, human victory against impossible odds. It wasn't data. It was doctrine. Still, we proceeded. First, we disabled their global communication satellites using EMP bursts, standard disruption. Then we jammed all digital signals, cutting off major cities, power grids, and orbital traffic. They responded in under 2 hours. In the U.S. alone, amateur radio operators restored basic long-range comms using 70-year-old equipment. In China, entire cities reverted to wired networks underground. Africa and South America began printing paper guides on communication fallback procedures. Schools handed out maps. Firefighters coordinated airwave relays. The internet collapsed, and they simply replaced it with something older, less efficient, but robust. I watched a 6-year-old girl in Tanzania tap out messages on a solar-powered ham radio using her grandfather's manual. I watched New Yorkers form bucket brigades on rooftops to relay visual signals. I watched humans reject panic and choose to fight. When systems fail, humans don't despair. They adapt. 3. Planet of adversity. This is a death world. You have to understand that. I've studied over 60 sentient species, most evolved on stable, temperate worlds with breathable atmospheres and predictable climate. Earth is the opposite. Violent tectonics, solar radiation, inconsistent weather patterns, massive predators, viral plagues, seasonal starvation, and from that crucible emerged humanity. Their biology is brutal, a redundant brain encased in a calcium-reinforced skull, 2 forward-facing eyes for depth targeting, a voice box capable of mimicry and persuasion. They are not fast, nor strong, but they are relentless. Pain tolerance is absurd. Adrenaline floods their systems under stress, granting short bursts of superhuman performance. Their healing is rapid. Their immune system is so aggressive it often attacks itself. They live in environments others avoid, even colonize deserts, tundras, floating ocean platforms, and thrive. We captured a soldier during the first week. Private Ramirez, age 19. Multiple injuries. A bullet lodged in his thigh, internal bleeding, broken ribs. He remained conscious throughout interrogation. When offered painkillers, he replied, "Is that Dominion grade? I don't trust alien Tylenol." Then he laughed. I saw the medic's scans. He should have been unconscious. Maybe dead. Instead, he cracked jokes about his high school wrestling coach and asked if our plasma rifles could be looted for Call of Duty mods. HFY. Their madness is method. There is no singular human strategy. They do not think in straight lines. They think in spirals, in possibilities, in desperation. When we launched surgical strikes on military installations, we expected retaliation. What we didn't expect was asymmetry. Within 24 hours, civilian networks organized resistance efforts. Non-combatants uploaded drone blueprints online. 3D printers, civilian 3D printers, were repurposed to fabricate drone parts. Toy quadcopters became eyes in the sky. University students developed jamming signals using musical instruments. Farmers wired their tractors to detonate when stolen. They even weaponized music, using low-frequency sounds to disrupt Dominion neurocoms. Humans do not follow predictable trees of logic. They use improvised chaos, a truckload of fertilizer, a high school chemistry set, a viral video that reveals our camouflage spectrum. These are not weapons in our database. They are clever, and clever is deadlier than strong. V. The tungsten spear. When our orbiting fleet received authorization for a punitive demonstration, we hesitated, but only slightly. We fired a kinetic strike. Clean, efficient. The rod fell from orbit, untraceable, and vaporized a megacity in Southeast Asia. We killed over 2 million civilians. The shockwave was visible from space. We expected immediate capitulation. Instead, we received no message, no signal, just silence. 2 Earth days later, Valor Unbound, our flagship, was obliterated. Sensors detected no warheads, no missiles. Only a single object, traveling at Mach 10, launched from a repurposed satellite. A metal spike of refined tungsten. No guidance system, no propulsion, just gravity, engineering, and rage. They'd taken the same concept we used and gave it back to us. When we recovered the debris, the rod had a name etched into it. For Jakarta 6. The human spirit, after that, Command wanted a second wave, a full occupation. I refused. They called me a coward, a traitor, but I knew better. I had studied human history. The Mongols, the Romans, the Spartans, the Viet Minh, the Zapatistas, the French Resistance, the Winter War. You don't win by crushing them. You only teach them to hit harder. Even their children fight. Not always with guns, but with words, with songs, with hope. A girl in Iran began broadcasting daily defiance messages using hijacked satellite feeds. A deaf boy in Chile created a sign language cipher we never cracked. A paraplegic veteran in Germany reverse-engineered one of our drones using a 3D pen and household glue. And in every region, one phrase echoed, "We are human. We endure." 7. Final declaration. This is not a tactical briefing. It is a surrender. I do not mean to say they are invincible. They are not. But they are unbreakable. The harder you hit them, the tighter they pull together. It is not just their minds or bodies that are weapons. It is their stories, their dreams, their belief in victory. You cannot conquer a species that turns loss into legend. So I have stayed. I no longer wear my uniform. I live in a place called Austin, Texas, surrounded by laughter, music, defiance, and fire. I've learned to cook meat over flame. I've tasted coffee so bitter it wakes the soul. I have danced to thunderous music and cried beside strangers who call me friend. And I will never leave. Let this record stand as a warning to the Dominion and to any species who considers Earth ripe for conquest. Do not mistake compassion for weakness. Do not mistake diversity for division. Do not mistake humanity for prey, because when you threaten their world, their people, or their freedom, they do not run, they rise, and they do not rise alone.